All right, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Brian Tague, and today we are joined by a driven sales leader and entrepreneur who knows how to grow brands and build momentum, Lisa Osborn. Lisa is a sales executive at Taz Shades, where she helps clients evaluate their space through custom window covering solutions that blend style, function, and smart design. She's also launching a new, exciting local venture with Graze Craze downtown San Diego, a modern charcuterie concept focused on connection, creativity, and community. From sales and brand growth to stepping into a startup ownership, Lisa's journey is about adaptability, creativity, and betting on yourself. So, Lisa, let's jump in.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on. I am fascinated by your story because you're a perfect textbook example of how someone can pivot throughout life, right?
Yes.
You've started in one career and one industry. You've used your skills and you're transitioning into this amazing startup, which is all the buzz right now around San Diego, and it's exciting, and they're all waiting for you to open the doors. So how did you get into the window covering business and there at Taz Shades? But tell us a little bit about your background first.
So I went to San Diego State in psychology. And putting myself through school, I bartended, so heard a lot of people's problems there and decided I really didn't want to be a psychologist. And then from there, I went to interior design school and became an interior designer and did that for, 12, 13 years or so. And then I moved back to San Diego and wanted to start my own company again, but having a small child, I decided maybe working for somebody would be a better idea for a little while and got into the window covering business then and have been doing that for about the last 13 years. Right now I'm with Taz Shades and they're a great company, really enjoying the people there. But when I was doing that transition of trying to think what else I wanted to do, I love entertaining and I love getting people together, and a charcuterie franchise business came up. So I kind of jumped on that bandwagon, I guess, a little bit. I signed a contract with the franchise company about 3 years ago and still waiting for my permits to come in. So California and San Diego take a little while for that, longer than I anticipated.
Great. So let's go back to your interior design. There's got to be a lot of psychology in that in itself, because everybody has their own wants and their needs and thinks they know how to do stuff. But then the real ones hire the experts to transition their life and their house into what it wants. But there's got to be so much psychology just involved in that industry alone. Is that accurate?
Oh yeah, definitely. And sales too. You're in somebody's home. You get to know them really well. You work very closely with them. You see them a lot. You see them in their most intimate space possible. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of psychology in that. When I was in Vegas, I lived in Vegas for about 6 years doing design there. One of the best jobs I had was with a man who makes gaming machines. And I did a whole penthouse. He bought the whole floor of a building and we converted it into one big, large space. So that was kind of cool.
Okay. And then you got into which may be safe to say is a niche space, into the window coverings, the electronic ones, and then now you're with Taz, right?
Correct.
So you had kind of already seen that whole landscape, so to speak, of the interior design, and whether selective or reactive, chose to be in this very niche space, the window side of it. And was that more of a personal drive? Was that an opportunity? Was that where the best margins to make money were? Like, what was the drive there?
It started out as just an opportunity. I was moving back from Vegas to San Diego. My son was 3 years old right then, and the company that I was working for was about 8 minutes away. So for, being able to work and have pickups and drop-offs and being a mom that, still wanted to be interactive with my son's life, not having my own company for a little while ended up being the best solution for that. And then, I always kind of missed, I guess, being my own boss and being controlled, not being controlled, but having control over your schedule a little bit more. I was still in a sales driven business. So you kind of are your own boss to a certain degree in that you're making your own salary by, what you're selling. And I've always kind of been in the luxury design part, even as an interior designer. Always worked with really high end projects. So I always like to say I kind of live vicariously through others. I get to see a lot of things that people are doing in their houses that just, I wish I could have that kind of money.
No, I love that. So let's pivot now into charcuterie. So it's been a big buzzword. It's an exciting space. It's a concept of, bringing, well, you can describe what it is better than I do, but bringing multiple pieces together, but it's also from a visual and a functional aspect. Do you think you got into that or have that interest because of all the, I don't want to say higher end clientele that you've had in the past and the wining and dining and the parties and the sales? Or did you get into that for a different love or passion?
I think you kind of touched on it a little bit there. Definitely, being in an intimate space with people, remodeling their kitchens and buying things like that for them so that they can enjoy their kitchen and have a party. And then having my own parties and people over, having things like that. It actually was when I was thinking about, I was getting a little burned out on the sales with interior design and window treatments. And another person that I know from the AV industry, which is audio video, I saw on LinkedIn where he was starting a charcuterie business. And I went, what? Like, he does not seem like a charcuterie guy. And looked into the company. And that's kind of how I found Graze Craze and talked with them for about, I don't know, 6 months or so till I decided that, yeah, I think this is a good fit for me. It's something that is up and coming. It's a brand that when I signed on, I think they had 30 stores and now they have over 100 stores nationwide. So it's a growing business and people are starting to do well at it. So it's something that I thought would be challenging, but also fun and still brings me into people's spaces, right? I'm still in their kitchens.
No, that's so cool. So what can you explain kind of the business model of once you open your doors? Because I know there's a list a mile long of people waiting to enter and give you business. And there's just, it's exciting. Everywhere I go, people are talking about it. So what does the business model look like? Do you have a storefront? Do you have an entertaining area, or is it all on the go in people's houses, or both?
It's going to be a little bit of both. I'm going to have a brick and mortar store down kind of off of Morena Boulevard by USD. So it's a great location. I'm going to be right next to Brew Mart, which is the old Ballast Point store, where you buy stuff to make your own beer. And they have a tasting room. So I think that'd be great to do some business with them. I'll do a lot of business to business relationships and then also in people's homes for, those special occasions, a day when you just don't want to cook. We also have, small cups where if you want a healthy lunch, you can get some vegetables and fruit and some sauces to go with it. So we kind of offer a little bit of everything, something for businesses and corporate, something for people that are having parties, and something smaller. So we're kind of all over the board as far as what we offer. We'll also, I'll do some classes to teach people how to make charcuterie boards, which I can do either in our store or on site. We're also doing some events like the bridal show and probably do some farmers markets and things like that.
This is why everybody's talking about it. It's amazing. Like there's just so many different pillars of income. And in the audience that watch this show a lot of them are either entrepreneurs themselves, investors, or want to be entrepreneurs or just starting out. And I just love to see and hear, because you and I both know as the economies change, as we get older in life, we see different demand from different industries. So if you have these multiple pillars or revenue, I call them pillars, revenue streams, some might excel one year while others might excel other years. And you can then pivot more easily as you adapt to the different economical changes and the supply and demand and the different businesses in the area. So I love to hear that model. So thank you for sharing that. Is there something you're most excited about? So you as Lisa Osborn, like what are you going to wake up every morning excited to do? Which revenue stream really excites you, or is it the running the business side of it?
I think it's the running the business side of it. I'm hoping to, get a good team and maybe not be in the store actually every day once I get it up and running. I mean, that probably will be, 2 to 5 years from now, maybe sooner. That'd be awesome. But, finding a good team. I like the marketing aspect of it, doing things like this, being out there, just with people and doing events and going to events. And I like meeting and the interchange between people. And I think sometimes in the business that I'm in now, I do that where I go and I meet people, but then I have to go back and do a big proposal. And then, you have a lot of work that goes with that. So it's not just the meeting people. This will be more the meeting of people and people. I mean, most of the time they're probably going to be wanting this for something that's fun and a celebrate occasion. There might be an offshoot where it's, something that is a funeral or something like that. But most of the time it's going to be for something that is, fun, that they're excited about. So being with people when they want to be happy about something is exciting as well.
I love that. So you've thought this through completely, or for the most part, and it is you have created this business plan and invested in this company that's growing very rapidly, to essentially not work. And I know that's that cliche, but you're waking up doing what you love to do. And I think there's an overlap, and I want to, maybe it's the obvious, and maybe people have already put it together, and I'm just late to the party. But there's a significant overlap, right? So bear with me. For your career, you've gone into people's homes, whether you're interior designing or you're selling them window coverings that will, complement this and that in their house. And they're excited to work with you. They're excited to spend the money and transform their house. You get to see their joy at the end of the day and be a part of their journey.
Mm-hmm.
This business is no different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
definitely. You get to hear and talk to whatever the occasion is, and a work function, an office event, teaching people some celebratory thing, customize and create some sort of board for them based size and flavors and wants and needs. You get to deliver it, and you get to be part of their experience and also see their joy.
Exactly. Yes.
And you get to own it, and you get to be there, and you get to have your employees and your staff and your team, and you get to focus on the different pillars or revenue streams that are profitable, but also keep you happy.
Yes. I get to eat the cheese too.
Yes, that's the dangerous occupational hazard of being in a food industry. So I love this. So what are you going to do? You said you're a couple months out, you think, from opening as of this recording, by the way, and we're early January right now. So you're targeting probably Q2 of 2026 for opening.
Hoping for March.
So late Q1, early Q2 of 2026 for grand opening. What are you going to do? What are the first events you're going to do, and why?
Well, one of the first ones that I've signed up for is Sips for Scripts, which is a function to help raise money for Scripps Ranch High, which I'm excited to do because that one's here in my hometown, and will be a lot of people that I know at that event. The other ones, I've become a member of the North San Diego Chamber. So I'm hoping to do some events for them and just some of the people that I've met through there. I'm excited to team up with some of the local businesses that are in the same strip mall that I'm in, doing some cross branding there. I'm right by the university, so hoping to do some events with the university as well. So lots of ideas. Just waiting for my doors to open so that I can do it. I've had some people ask, if they can get things ahead of time, but it's really hard with the health department. They don't like that. So, waiting to do everything by the book.
Right. And I asked that question purposefully for listeners, right? Because I always want to remind people, right, of whether it's a different age or generation or comfort level or just what makes you happy. There are so many different ways to generate business, and everything I heard is who you are as a person, and it comes from your grassroots, right? It's that the networking, it's the liaisoning, it's the sphere of influence and the referrals, right? And that's how you're going to, and I love that. I think that is the best business model that's out there. And that's the gift that keeps on giving. And you provide good customer service and a good product, and that will just keep repeating itself. Are you planning on, or have you thought about, are you going to get into the social media side of things and the videos and all of that content? Or are you going to start off doing it your way, which again, there's no judgment here, and then venture into that? Or are you going to just launch it all at the same time?
No, right now we have some corporate videos and things that they put on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn for us. But as it gets closer to me opening, I'm definitely planning on doing some of my own. I think that's really the only way that you can generate, the real followers and the real business is from, what you're putting out there and people wanting to make that connection with you. I don't know. I guess that's probably the part that excites me, but also scares me the most, is because you're kind of putting yourself out there a lot for that.
And the fear or the risk of that too is, and again, these are just my 2 cents unfiltered. I probably shouldn't even make this comment, but it's that's where you come from. Your industry is they're not hiring Taz or one of these other companies you've worked for. They're hiring Lisa because they like Lisa and
Right.
they want Lisa. But in this business, I see it as twofold. Yes, a percentage of them will be hiring Lisa, but the beauty of it is they don't have to be hiring Lisa. They can also hire the
Right.
product and the service in the store and be equally as happy. And that hurts sometimes the ego, and it hurts because you want them. But trust me, sometimes it's better that they don't need and want you, and that the business will run on itself.
Yes.
And that will be a good thing in 3 to 5 years when you want some of that free time.
Yes,
and
exactly.
So you're not losing business because they can't have Lisa.
Yeah, you got to have people underneath you that you can trust, and that that can also do a good job for you as well. That's the hard part. I think that's probably the hardest part about having your own business, is finding people, that are good and capable and trustworthy. And I think once you find those connections, everything kind of can come together.
So let's talk about that, because that comes up a lot on these podcasts: is employment, work ethic, grit, grind, determination, problem solving, trust. Where are you with that? And what is your vulnerable opinion on that? Because it is scary hiring people today's day and age. So to have a startup that quote unquote requires employees, how comfortable are you with that, especially in California?
Yes, I do. I fall under, because there's 100 locations, we fall under having to pay the higher minimum wage, which is, I think, going to be like a little over $20 an hour, which is a lot of money to, for somebody to sit and make a charcuterie board. But I'm hoping to kind of cross-train those people. And if they're younger people, I'm hoping that maybe they can do their own posts and post some stuff. So if there may not be a charcuterie board every hour, so there is going to be some downtime for some of these kids, if I have kids working in the space, or younger adults, I should say. So having them do some social media work, as well as making the boards, is going to be great. I'm hoping to also maybe find some people that are retired that only want to work a couple of hours here and there. It's a very kind of volatile in a way, where you have maybe, not so much going on one day, and then, the next day you have, 40 boards to get out the door. Or, the holiday season where it's like you need a ton more help because you're doing a lot of boards every day. But end of January, when not as
Right.
much is going on, everybody's, done with the holidays, there's going to be some slower days. So just trying to figure out what to have them do.
Sounds like you should have had some more kids, Lisa. It sounds like a
Maybe,
perfect
yeah.
job.
Yes, he's definitely going to be working in the
I
store
love
a
it.
little
No,
bit.
that's good. Teach him right. Teach him young.
Yes.
Can we talk
Mm-hmm.
about? And we don't have to, but franchises are interesting beasts, right? So, did you
Mm-hmm.
interview or talk to other franchises or or did you just do some research on your own and then fell into this one based off that one guy's post?
I did some research on my own, but because, like I said, like 3 years ago, they really only had like 30 stores open. And one of them, I talked to one that was in Washington that was doing very well. I talked to a guy in Texas who has two stores, and he was one of the first ones that signed on, and both of his stores are doing very well. And then I talked to somebody that was on the East Coast. And so I kind of got a variety of answers on what the brand does to help you, what you need to do to help yourself, and whether they thought it was a good brand. They, obviously I signed on, so everybody said some, good things. But yeah, it sounded like a good business model. They actually, for talking about being AI and things like that, we're actually offering sandwiches as well, because what they found is on some of the websites, if nobody was searching charcuterie for business meetings, but sandwich is like the number one thing that businesses search for. So they added sandwiches. So now people can search for sandwiches, and then they go, oh, they do charcuterie. So hardly anybody that searches for the sandwiches actually orders the sandwiches, but it gets them to actually see our brand and to know that we're there.
The power of AI and search engine optimization. That's the metrics, and no, it's beautiful. That's really smart pivot. So it sounds like they are cutting edge as well, because that was a franchise decision to offer the sandwiches based on that. Yeah, that's great. So you're surrounded by up and coming businesses. Was this company on Shark Tank that you
I
know of?
don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, because the name sounds so familiar from years ago, and I wonder if they were there or not. But maybe it was
Maybe
something
it was
similar
something
to that. And
similar.
it's been this whole pod I've been thinking about it, and I figured I'd just ask you rather than start clicking away and researching it. But I wasn't sure if this was a
Yeah, I don't think so. The woman that actually had the first store before it was a franchise, she was in Florida, and then she opened up a second store and then brought it to people to franchise.
okay. Do the hours and holidays scare you? Because I know you've got to have those good and people and employees, but you've
Yes.
been a bartender before in your past life. So does
Yes.
that scare you? You know, you make all the money in the evenings at the parties and at night and on the weekends and
Hmm.
holidays. Does that scare you at all?
Hours don't scare me too much, but working, I've heard how much people were working through this last holiday season, and it's a lot. And we, this last Christmas, we just got back from a trip. We went to Nassau in the Bahamas, because I figured, all right, this is going to be my last, like, maybe hurrah vacation that I get during the Christmas season. So I got to go somewhere fun. So yeah, not being able to take, a vacation or go see, people out of town during that time will be a little bit hard, but I think the benefit or the payout is going to be good, or at least that's what I'm banking on.
Is part of the model to have delivery vehicles and employee deliveries, or is it all pickup, or do you outsource that to Ubers and Lyfts?
We kind of do a little bit of everything. We're on Easy Cater, so they can set up the deliveries through them. We have Uber Eats, so we can do it through there. We can also deliver it ourselves. So it's kind of all over the board as far as it's kind of where the people find us. If they've found us through EasyCater, then they might order delivery through them. But then maybe the next time they're like, oh, okay, you guys deliver. We'll just order direct from you. So there's lots of different avenues for that. But yes, we'll have pickup. Definitely, we'll have deliveries within a certain radius. We'll do free deliveries. But once we get out of that radius, it's kind of hard downtown, with timing and things like that. You might only be 5 miles away, but it might take us 45 minutes to get there at, a certain day or a certain time.
You'd be 5 blocks away and it takes you 45 minutes to get there, park, and get up to the 45th floor or whatever, yes. Right? Yeah, that's the downside of being downtown. Yes, that parking and delivery situation. All right, this is good. Is it too early to ask if somebody wants to get on your wait list, start receiving mailers, go to your website? Is any of that open in public now? Where to get a jump start or start planning for their 4th of July or next Thanksgiving or whatever, a birthday, how can they get in touch with you and start following you?
So I am on LinkedIn. I am on, there is a Graze Craze downtown San Diego LinkedIn page. I do have Graze Craze on Instagram and Facebook, and I do already have my website up. So all of that is up. You just can't order off the website yet, but you can always shoot me a message and I can give you information about it. There are some other stores in the area that have just opened. So we're actually friendly with each other, although we're a little bit in competition with each other. We also are helping each other out. We all three of us that were, there's one in La Jolla and there's one in Rancho Penasquitos. We did a bridal show together and kind of sharing all those leads. So it's a friendly atmosphere as well as, working together or borrowing things from each other and helping each other out. The owner in the Rancho Penasquitos one, I went and worked in her store for a couple of hours because she was short-handed. So, just doing things like that to help out local, another entrepreneur, another person that's in your shoes that you want to see succeed as well.
Graze Craze, downtown San Diego. Follow Lisa Osborn on LinkedIn and all the sites, and Graze Craze, downtown San Diego. So I love having you on here. This is awesome. I love what you're doing. You are truly being an entrepreneur. You're chasing your dream. I hope these doors open sooner than you're expecting. Keep being that squeaky wheel, because permits and all the bureaucracy is not fun. But Lisa, thank you for coming on the show. I think this is you're a great example of what someone can be. And I'm excited to see how the business does and have you back on here in the future just to give everyone an update. And
yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to be back on.
All right. Well, happy 2026, since we did talk about the date, and I hope you open your door soon, and let's stay in touch.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.